Well, I have time. Do I have time? I want to. Or do I? Hello, you awesome people, and welcome to Rose Talks. Just sits here and talks and wonders about stuff. The thing, as you've seen in the title, I'm gonna talk about clubs today because, well, as you're seeing this, I have probably been working for 2 weeks already. And, well, before I started to work, I've been having a lot of thoughts. As you may or may not know, I am in the club Comet Hawks that I've been in for a few years, but is now no longer active. It is actually, it became inactive in the beginning of, before summer or something, around spring. They decided like, no, we don't really want to do this anymore. We need to take a break. We need to just, no more active clubs. Which was very sad, but at the same time I understood them. It does take a lot to have a club. So I was like, okay, sad, but okay, it's okay. And at the same time as I was in that, the same time I was sort of not in the mood for clubbing anymore. I was like, okay, I need to have an event. Oh, I'm so stressed, I actually need to do this, and I didn't really want to play anymore. I was more into, like, most of the stuff that the events I wanted wasn't really going on. So I was a bit like, it's okay if it's going inactive, because I'm not really into it right now. But during summer, now, these past few months or month, I've been like, would be maybe kind of fun to join a club again. But during that time I was not working. I still had my sort of like summer vacation. Figured it was because I was starting to get a bit bored, like I needed to do stuff. I needed to start working maybe. So I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't start with applying for club because I don't know how it's gonna be when I work or not. And but I was still curious, so I was looking around at clubs, like what would I like. And I would like something like Comet Hawks, and Comet Hawk was a club that was sort of focused towards equestrian, so a lot of riding lessons, even though it was mostly just me and Frida doing the riding lessons, but like wanting members of the club to be into riding equestrian and so that kind of stuff. I had already also seen that there were clubs that was a bit of more like role-playing, so into like doing it, making it feel even more like you are an equestrian at your weekend, the stuff, and you have like one horse, and yeah. So, and I was a bit into it. I was really into it. I was thinking like, that might be actually quite interesting, and I did check out a club that had this on a Swedish server, and since I'm not really obligated to stay on Aerostar anymore, I was sort of free to move around as it was. So I was starting to look at clubs, but there was still stuff that I was like, I don't really know if I want that, and I was like, what do I really want? So I sat down. Like, this is something everyone should do when they're thinking about club. What do they want from a club? I've been in a few clubs. So I have been in Sky Lady Society, I've been in Alpha Kings, I've been in, yeah, clubs. And yeah, of course, Comet Hawks. So I've been like checking out what do I want, and probably Comet Hawks is the one that is closest to what I really want. So, okay, what do I want from a club? I want it to be equestrian focused, so a lot of riding lessons, more riding lessons than like fun events, like going around playing games. Not really into that. I want it to be a club for older people, so a lot of people that is more close to my age, so we have stuff more in common, and I like to be with people that doesn't make me feel old. So yeah, a club for older people, equestrian focused, would be fun with role playing, but maybe not too serious of a role play. Like I'm into role play, but it does freak me out when it gets like really serious, just a lot to think about. So I'm like, I don't know, like it's difficult. And what else? And oh, I do love Frida. Frida is my best friend in the game, and we do still talk a lot, so it would be fun to be in a club with her still. And we do want pretty much the same thing from a club. So we have been talking about clubs. She has more sense of what's out there, really, so I said her, like, go and find clubs for me. And she told me about clubs, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then she was like into one club, but then they decided to end, and they started another one, but it's not really the same. So I'm like, oh, maybe not then. So we just started talking, and we were starting to dream and deciding, like, okay, what it would be fun if there was a club that did this and then this and then this, and also thinking about the fact, oh, there's another preference that I really need for our club. It has to be active, but it has to be not forcing players to be active in a way like you have to be in an event at least once a week. Because I am going to start work, and I have as I'm working, I have really no idea how much energy I will have. And once a week event or more can actually be quite a lot for someone. I can understand for children that they just go to school and then go home, like they want events more times a week. And talking about clubs in our podcast, the Soul Rider podcast, with when we had Kiara Moonstone on, I was surprised that in like the US and in England and Ireland it's more common that there is like, do you have a club that has an event a month, like one event a month, that the leader are just, they make an event, and then if someone else wants to do an event, then yay for them, but they will only do an event a month. And then I was like, well, that sounds boring, I don't know if I could do that. But now, as I'm going to start to work, I'm like, nah, it does make sense actually. It makes sense. It's easier to actually make time for an event, or in a way it's easier to make time for one event a month. So okay, so as another thing to have on my list is not forcing activity, and I wouldn't mind a club that just has a few events a month. But yeah. And that's just not as common in Sweden. In Sweden we have more like the club needs to have events a few times a week. And before I was like, yeah, of course they need to have that. But as I've been now in a few clubs that have had that, there can be a bit of issues. It can be, you can have a week where you're like, you have tons of activity. People are like, all the members in the club are joining for every event. You have like tens of members always showing up. And then you have a week where you have one showing up, and that's just, it's not just fun anymore. So yeah, that is definitely something to think about. So thinking about, because I do know I would like to do events, and I also want to attend events. So I'm thinking like, okay, I can do one event a month. I can give myself that one event a month, and I would like to join an event a month. So yeah. So we have that. So I've been talking to Frida. We discussed, and as I've said, we started to dream, like what would be the perfect club for us. And we started to write down stuff, like what would we like. And as I said, we're basically having the same sort of preferences of what we would like. And just figuring that there aren't really that many clubs out there that are the same. There are equestrian-focused clubs out there, but then there is something else. Like maybe they have a very young membership limit, or they have a lot of events that you have to attend, and so on and so on. So we didn't really feel like we found a club that suited our needs. So we sort of fell into talking about what if we would start a club. And I was like, it would be fun. It is something that I've never done. I have never owned my own club, like, you know, in an active club. I have owned my own clubs, but it has been for like only me to skip out on all the invitations from clubs. But I have never really owned an active club. The closest I've been is like being a part of the crew in Comet Hawks and in Alpha Kings, but there I was mostly as the riding teacher and giving my thoughts and ideas and stuff. But I never really been the owner of it. and even though I've been pretty active in most clubs. So it's been that is like something like, do I want to check that off? Like now I also own my own active club, and I was like, we just decided, because it was in the middle, it was in summer, we both knew that it's probably us thinking is probably us being bored. In general, all clubs during summer are on summer vacation, at least here in Sweden, so because the activity just goes way down. Everyone is on vacation, or they just don't want to play because it's lovely weather outside. So most clubs go on summer vacation. So it's as you're watching this, there's probably the clubs are starting to come back from their summer vacation. But as we were talking, it was summer vacation. We were like, well, it's hard to find clubs that are on summer vacation, so maybe wait. So in the end, we basically decided that we were going to wait, see clubs becoming more active, and also wait for me to start working to see how much energy I have, because I can't forget that I have responsibility as it already is with Star Stable. I have my YouTube channel, it takes the energy. I have Instagram that I also need to keep active. Just decided to put a break on my blog, like put it up on a shelf, because I lost interest in writing, and mostly about writing the same that I already talked about in a video. It just felt like, oh, now I'm just now I'm just saying everything again, even though in another language, and it took time. So I decided to put a bit of a break from my blog. So YouTube and Instagram, I already have that, and I already also have the podcast once a month, although it takes a month to plan for that one episode. Like the guest needs to be done, and I need to post a picture asking your people for questions, and then I need to plan the episode, and then it's time to get the episode done, and then so it takes energy from that as well. So 3 things: Songwriters Podcast, my YouTube channel, my Instagram. So I already have stuff like obligations for Star Stable, and beside that I do want to have a life. Like, as I said, I'm working, grown-up life is going on. I can't work and then go home just to sit by the computer. Some can, but I feel like, no, I have real life friends that I also want to make sure that they stay in my life. So I want to have time to be able to go out and meet friends outside. I want to have time to train. I need to go and train my body so it stays healthy and happy and not giving me shit. So I need time. Time is a luxury when you're a grown-up, basically. It's just, yeah. What is... I wish I could have... I wish for more time for Christmas. I need more time in my life. And yes, stuff is happening, like, yeah, and I want to also have time for streaming more, so so many obligations. And so on top of that, am I supposed to run a club that is supposed to be active? It takes time. As I said, I've never done that by myself, but as I noticed from Frida, who has done it, it takes a lot of time. And of course I wouldn't own it by myself. I do know I would not like to own a club by myself, like the only owner. I would like to do it with someone, and right now we would only be with Frida. So owning a club with Frida, and then it comes to her. Does she have time? And how is her fall is gonna be? And does she really feel into it, depending on how it ended with Comet Hawks? Is she already ready to move on to a new club? That is another thing. And so it's just it takes a lot of planning and thinking to go that far for a club. So I just don't know. Am I going to start a club with Frida, or am I gonna finally find another club to join and do another new adventure, meeting new people, buddying up with a new owner, like maybe become another riding instructor, depending on what kind of rules they have for that role in that club. But it is a bit exciting. It is always exciting to join a new club. It's been a while now, since I've been in Comet Hawks for so long. Although I would miss people from there. I do know that there have been people from Comet Hawks that have tried other clubs, but then ended up not wanting to stay and then came back only to be in the club, to be with people. We're still not active, of course, but Comet Hawks still lives. It's an unactive club, as it's called. So it's interesting to think about. I wonder, do you think about this when you are thinking about a club? Do you put up a list, what do you want, or do you just, for some reason my camera decided to stop recording? That was weird. Oh well. So what do you do when you are feeling into that you want to join a club? Do you make a preference list, what do you want? I've seen people on Facebook going okay, I'm someone from this server and I want a club that has this age limit. Mostly it's all about the age limit, which is kind of interesting, although I can't really say that I'm not, because I'm already talking about that I want an age limit for older people as well. Age limit is important. Server is not really important to me, but what they do in the club is important to me. I really want it to be more equestrian focused. I would really like the club to have a real concept, they know what they want with the club. It does just equestrian focus like that. It could be a fun thing about horses that they made up, they have a club stable that you get to only decide just a few horses or something, and yes, just a real concept. It doesn't really need to be a real role-playing club, but you can have influences of role-playing in it. Or you can be a role-playing club. I think that is something that could really become a thing if you just knew how it works. Because it's a lot of thinking when it comes to role-playing. And that is why I was I'm gonna be working. Do I really want to think about it? I do not want to see in my comments people asking me to join their club. Please do not do that. Because I am not sure how I want it. I'd rather go and look and find you, if that is the thing. And of course it has to be in Sweden. But yes, please, no club invitation or anything down in the comments or anything. I'm not sure how I want it. So just there, no. If you are going to come here now and start inviting me to club, you're just gonna get a no. So yeah, please don't do that. No invitations, please, please. Just want to ramble. I just want to ramble and tell you all that it's just a lot to think about when it comes to clubs. Because there's so many out there, and now there's such, and they all have their own, either they have a concept or they don't have a concept. Maybe they're just there for fun or not. They just want to hang with people, or they, as I said, have a concept and want to do something with their club in a way that no one else does, or yeah. So much stuff. So I would love to hear from you how you think about what you would like. Is there a club idea that you thought would be very cool, but you have never really seen it? So leave that in the comments down below. Or is there a club that you feel like they are so cool because they have this concept or something? But yeah, I would just love to hear about other clubs, because there's so much out there. And of course I would love the club feature in general in the game to be updated, because it needs some love. It is a very big part of the game, the club feature, so it needs to become better, I think. So that is what I basically wanted to talk to you guys about. I have no idea what I've really been saying. It's been just blah. But yeah, clubs. Clubs are fun. But am I ready? Am I ready to join a club? Am I ready to have my own club? Or am I going to have to be that lone wolf because I'm a working adult that doesn't really feel like she has time for a club? We will just have to see. But remember, people, I do not want any club invitations. I'm gonna be frankly with you. If you even try in the comments down below, I'm just gonna ignore you, because I've been saying now in the video that I do not want it. So please don't. Getting that out of the way feels bad. It feels like a bad ending, really. So yeah, please, I want to hear your thoughts about clubs. That's what I want to hear in the comments down below. So your thoughts about club, what you would love to see with a club, or if there's a club out there that you think has like the best concept ever. Yeah, and we'll just have to see what's going to happen. Am I going to join a club or not? Or have my own or not? We'll have to see. But in the meantime, people, stay awesome as always, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!